Welcome back to the Success Formula. My name is Matthew Chan, and I'm here with my co-host, Ray Williams. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing great today, Matthew. Thank you.
Well, I want all you listeners to know that I think we have a great topic. Ray is full of ideas, and he brought up this idea. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And what we're going to talk about today is how to become a more powerful person in your life. So, I know you're really passionate about this subject, Ray, but one of the things I would like for us to start with is for you to share with us a little bit about your background and your journey in becoming a more powerful person.
Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, I'd be pleased to. I think one of the things that's contributed to me being a powerful person in life, and I've had 4 careers and being successful in all 4 of them, is my beginnings. And I was born in Hong Kong. And was born as a prisoner of the Japanese in a prison work camp during World War II.
Wow.
My family spent 5 years in the prison work camp. It was a very difficult experience. And I think one of the things that contributed to that me becoming a powerful person was the adversity, is overcoming adversity and learning from my parents and learning from that early childhood experience that of how to overcome trauma, how to overcome adversity, how to get over obstacles. Mm-hmm. And I believe that that's one of the learnings and one of the things that makes you a powerful person is your ability to overcome. And so that started me out quite well in life. And jumping ahead in time, my first career was actually as an educator, and I became a high school teacher and then a high school principal at the age of 28.
Wow.
And then a superintendent of schools in my 30s, and so I had a pretty successful career there. Retired from that at a very early age and went on to set up my own consulting business, which I operated throughout the United States and Canada. I've also had a career in the entertainment business as a writer, and I've written novels novels and a screenplay, and which was actually purchased by Columbia Pictures. And so had an opportunity to do the creative bent in my life as well, which I always wanted to do. And then moved into setting up my own coaching business and partnering with Stephanie and Frank and Success IQ University. Mm-hmm. So in all of those endeavors, I was able to bring my personal power into applying it to my career and being successful in each one of those. So I'm going to talk today, Matthew, about what are the elements of then becoming a powerful person. And my experience in working with really powerful people. So I work with CEOs of very large corporations, with entrepreneurs who are starting out in their business for the very first time, with professional athletes, with actors, with artists, a whole variety of people who are successful in their own right and can define success in that way. So I'm going to be talking about the elements of what can make you powerful, regardless of what kind of business you're in and what kind of entrepreneur you're in, where you're going. Okay?
Right. Well, before we jump too far into it, to people who are new to our show, can we define what makes a powerful person in your mind? I think of, for example, yes, wealth helps. I mean, a lot of people think about that. Or people think about fame, but I think personal power comes in many, many forms. And could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Sure. What I'll tell you what it isn't, first of all, we have, and the media kind of portrays this particular myth through movies and also through TV shows that the powerful man has to be like Clint Eastwood or John Wayne, for those people a little bit older. He's 6'4", he's got a tough jaw. He has to look as though he's the part of being strong and decisive. And so we tend to have this myth about that's the powerful person.
What about Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It is a myth. Or the same thing. So we equate that.
Yeah.
And it's not as though some people who have those characteristics can't be powerful, but there are also powerful people who are very quiet and very cerebral. They're reflective. They're soft-spoken. For example, you will not meet a more powerful person in this world than the Dalai Lama, than Nelson Mandela.
Wow. Good example.
Then Martin Luther King. Right. And many wealthy businessmen. If you met Warren Buffett, you would not initially, unless you knew he was Warren Buffett, you wouldn't be saying to yourself, wow, there's a powerful guy.
That is true. That is true.
So you can't go by physical characteristics, first of all. That's not what it's about.
Okay.
So what is it about then? If you don't look like John Wayne, you don't look like, those people, what is it that makes you a powerful person? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Well, I am all ears.
Okay. So first of all, personal power comes from things that you get rid of and things you acquire. Okay? So the things that you get rid of are things that sap your energy as a person.
Like?
So first of all, if you are a powerful person, your energy well is full most of the time, so that you have the energy to do stuff and be healthy and also carry out the kinds of things you're going to do to be a successful person. What we found is that people who are not so successful have a tendency to have low energy, low physical energy. They're tired, they're fatigued. They don't want to do things. They're less ambitious.
Yes.
Those kind of things.
They're lazier.
And so that's a contributor. So physical energy is a contributor to being a powerful person. So how do you develop a good physical energy in your life? Number one is regular exercise.
I knew you were going there. I knew it.
The number one determinant of brain power is exercise.
Okay. I don't get enough of.
The more you exercise, the more you increase your brain capability.
Okay, very good.
So that's number one.
Yes.
Yeah, so exercise. Two is good diet. Certain kinds of foods feed your brain power and feed your energy levels, and other kinds of foods do not. So the real killers in life are things like sugar.
Yeah.
White stuff. Anything that's white.
Well, I mean...
And the number one problem...
I don't like that
or
statement
white bread.
at all.
Think of all the foods you eat, and what is white? And those are the things you should be avoiding.
Bleached.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Because anything that's white has been processed.
That's true. Okay.
So that's number two is diet. And you know what the single biggest health problem now is in America, Matthew, is obesity.
Oh, I knew you were going there. It's really unfortunate. It's all over the place. It's all over.
Yeah. So we can account for many conditions of the heart, of diabetes,
yes,
and a lot of other illnesses directly related to obesity. And in general, people who are obese have much lower levels of energy. So, number two is diet. Okay. Number three, in terms of your energy level, is happy relationships with people. That you have good relationships with people.
And I don't get that being talked about very much.
Yeah. It's based upon positive relationships that are based upon friendship, warmth, kindness, caring, love, compassion. That's a contributor to raising your level of energy.
Okay. Great.
Okay. And then number four is doing what you love to do.
I can definitely see that one. That one. Yeah.
Because one of the things we found out, and I can think of lots of clients I've had, they say, I hate my work. So what do you think happens to your energy level when you hate your work?
Yeah.
It drops.
Down. Yes. Yeah. Well, I think there's an epidemic of people doing things that they hate, to be honest with you.
Right.
So I think that's an important thing to talk about. Okay. Is there a number 5? I mean, you've given quite a bit on the physicality of becoming more powerful.
That's just physical, yeah. So one of the important things to do then to be a powerful person is, can you plug those energy leaks?
Okay.
And keep your energy really high all the time.
And
so that you're not tired and fatigued.
Physical part. Okay, got it. Good.
Yeah. Well, it's also emotional. Relationships are not just physical. It's a relationship thing too.
True.
And loving your work is not just physical. It's it's an emotional, internal thing. I love what I'm doing here, and that gives me great energy then. Okay, so it's plugging the leaks, and filling the well. That's about energy.
Now let me ask
that's going to contribute to
on the list, I was kind of thinking about energy, and I was thinking more specifically energy suck. What do you think about, like, negative people? How does that, people who are, they just naysayers, cynics, how does that fit into the equation? Or you just
That's exactly what I was just going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly where I'm going next.
Okay. All right.
Good thinking. You're a mind reader.
Well, I wasn't sure if you had those 4 or 5 points and that was it. And I was like, well, okay, maybe.
No. There's more. There's a lot more.
Oh, there's a lot more. Okay, I got ahead of you. Sorry about that.
So part of stemming your energy leaks is what I call stopping the energy vampires in your life.
Oh, I know.
Energy vampires.
I'm passionate about that one. I am really passionate.
So here's the energy vampires. So first of all, spend a minimal amount of time in energy vampires. Here they are. Okay? Number 1, energy vampire. It's the drama queens and drama kings. Everything in life is a big drama.
Okay.
It's a big production. It's life or death. Every time you talk to them, something's going on. They say, oh, my God, you can't believe what happened to me. You know what this happened to me? And, I don't know what to do about it. Nothing is ordinary or normal. Everything's a big drama production. Okay, when you're with people like that, they suck the energy out of you.
I always kind of
so that's
thought
number
they
1.
want some attention, but I guess that's a whole different topic there.
They're trying to take energy from you because when you're a drama queen and drama king, your energy is insufficient. Okay. So you're trying to take it from someone else. Okay. Number 2 drama queen or number 2 energy vampire is people who are victims.
Oh, I hate that. Everything is somebody else's fault.
Everything happens to them.
Yes.
Right? Everything happens to them. You can't believe what happened to me. And they always describe their misfortune in terms of other people or events, never themselves taking responsibility.
Yes.
Okay, so victims have low energy levels, and they're going to suck the energy out of you. So avoid those.
Okay.
Okay? The best response I give to a victim, this is a great thing you can use in a dialogue. So someone you meet is a victim, they're going on and on about things, or you can use this with the drama queen and king as well, is you say this question to them, one of the 2 forms. Here's the question. What are you going to do about it?
Oh.
What are you going to do about it? Yeah.
What's the standard answer?
Let's just role play. So let's role play for a minute, Matthew. Let's assume you're a victim and you're complaining about something. Make something up. I'll demonstrate this to you. Make something up.
Oh, I got out of bed. I was really tired. I got up late because I had to go to bed. I couldn't sleep last night, and I'm off to a slow start, so I'm running late. So, and that's what's happening. I mean, that's how my day went. My day is gone because of that, because I lost sleep.
So I can see how you feel. What are you going to do about it?
What am I going to do about it? Well, I can't help it. I mean, I can't sleep. That's not my fault.
Yeah, I know. But I understand the way you feel. What are you going to do about it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe try to go to bed a little bit earlier. I don't know.
Okay. So when you gonna do that? Do you see what happens?
Yeah. You kind of pause.
Yeah. So Yeah, when you encounter someone who's a victim and they're constantly talking victim language, don't engage with them in their dialogue because you get roped in, and that's how you lose your energy.
Yeah.
You just respond and say, hey, what are you going to do about it? What's the next step you can take right now? And you just repeat the question over and over again.
Until
they will get tired. Or they won't want to talk to you anymore. They'll want to find someone else.
Well, I can see that.
Okay, so that's number 2.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Number 3, energy vampire are people who are negative or depressed. Okay?
All right.
So it can be tied to being a victim, but it's a little different in the sense that everything they see is negative. They're not necessarily complaining about being a victim, but regardless of what comes up, they'll say it's bad.
Yeah, they have a cynical point of view, right?
Always. Yeah.
Got it.
So those people are also energy vampires because their energy is so low. When you constantly criticize, you reduce the energy level emotionally and physically in yourself.
Okay.
So again, with someone like that, my response to someone like that is tell them they're right. You're right. That's it.
That kind of diffuses it, doesn't it? If you're agreeing with them.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it.
Because what they want from you is what? An argument.
Yeah.
They want you to argue with them so they can draw more energy out of you.
So
don't
you don't
argue
think
with
they're
them.
looking for your approval or justification or in the way they view?
No. They really don't care what you think.
Okay.
They don't care what you think.
Well, I guess I've never...
If they're chronically negative...
I've never hung
if they're
around
chronically
long enough to worry
negative,
about
they
it.
don't... A good man.
Yeah.
Okay, same thing with people who are depressed.
Okay.
People depressed, constantly down all the time. You know, their head is hanging down, and they're sad and they're depressed all the time. Now, in the very extreme form, they may need some pharmaceutical help in terms of an antidepressant. 90% of the people who get prescribed antidepressants don't need them.
Is that right?
Yeah, they could solve the problem just by changing their lifestyle and changing the way they see things.
Now, regarding the depression subject, are you talking about clinical depression or simply people that are just simply downers?
Okay, only 10% of people maximum are going to be clinically depressed.
I see.
Okay, it's the number 1 prescribed medication in America. How could there be that many people clinically depressed?
Yeah, I think a lot of people looking for literally the magic pill to cure some of their ills.
Yes.
I have a real problem with that. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Anyway, so depressed people who are feeling depressed, not clinically depressed, but people who are feeling depressed are energy vampires.
Gotcha.
So those are the categories of energy vampires you want to avoid and have them minimal amount of contact with them. And if you do have contact with them, the response is, what are you going to do about your situation? Okay?
Okay.
So that's the whole thing on energy that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
A second thing that holds you back from being a really, really powerful person is agreeing to do things you don't want to do.
Wait, say that one more time?
Agreeing to do things you don't want to do.
Really? Okay.
You make a list of all the things that you do in life. How many of them are you saying, I really don't want to do this, but we do it anyway?
Yes.
Yeah, we do it anyway.
Yes.
Okay, so at the simple level, it may be, I don't want to take out the garbage, but you have to do it anyway.
Right.
Okay. That's okay, because, you don't want garbage in your house starting to pile up, right?
Right. Interesting example, but go ahead.
Right. But it may be more serious. Is, you know what? I don't really want to do business with this person, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's going to make me some money. Now you're starting to pull your personal power away from you because you're starting to compromise yourself in working with people you don't have respect for or that you feel you actually can't work with.
Ray, you're really good at hitting the my little hot buttons there.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But we do it because, we say, well, I got to do it. Every time you make a compromise like that, of working with somebody or having a client or having a personal relationship or a friendship with someone you really don't want to, you're cutting away your personal power.
I think that's pretty pervasive.
So my advice, yeah. So just think, though, if instead you say, you know what? No, this is not going to be one of my friends anymore.
Agreed.
No, I'm not going to do business with this person. I don't have respect for them. I don't have a good feeling for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Very good.
And yes, it's going to cost me money, but I have to maintain my integrity as a person, which then increases your personal power.
Okay.
The second thing you need to say no to is, what are all the things you're doing in your work that aren't working?
Can you give some examples?
Yeah. You own a good example is the other day. One of my clients owns a handbag produces handbags for a high fashion industry. Mm-hmm. So those handbags would appear in large stores like Nordstrom's or Saks Fifth Avenue, but also in very small boutique shops as well. Oh, she's done very well establishing this business. Mm-hmm. One of the things that she did in the process of establishing this business is that she hired a PR firm to handle all her public relations, to do all her advertising, etc.
Oh boy!
She then took a look. And it was really high profile, very expensive. She then took a look at what's the relationship. She started to collect data. What's the relationship between the advertising and my sales? And what she was finding was that she was actually getting more sales through the use of social media than she was through this high-profile advertising company in New York.
Interesting.
But she kept using it anyway. She said, well, the big companies, they use these big advertising firms, so it must be working for them. I'm just going to keep going. And it was costing her huge amounts of money. And then she finally said, you know what, this isn't working for me. I'm going to stop it. But a lot of people won't stop what's not working for them in their professional life or their business or even their personal life.
Got it.
So my relationship with somebody would say to me the other day, you know what, I've been married for 5 years now, and we don't even talk to each other across the table anymore. Okay? It's not working for you. What are you doing about it? So either you fix the relationship, okay, or you get out of it instead of just going on and on and on and on. So by the time most people get divorced, they've let this go on and on for too long instead of addressing it early. So that's what I mean about saying no to what's not working. You take a look at your business. What are all the things that in your business that aren't working for you? And stop doing them.
That's very.
That takes courage.
Yes, it does. It does take a little bit of gumption to say no.
Right, and that's what's going to propel you into making a more powerful person. Is, you know what? I'm going to stop doing these things because they're not working for me.
Okay.
So it's taking a little bit of an audit. Let's make a list of the things that don't seem to be working in what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to go back to that list. And I'm going to stop doing them.
Well, I call it cleaning house. I mean, it seems like, at least for me, every few years I've got to go clean house because I can't seem to keep doing it, on an ongoing basis. I got to get to the point of no return. You get frustration and you just say, okay, this is it. When you really should be incorporating it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's the thing that reduces your power. And the last one I want to mention, just to tie up our show today, is taking personal responsibility for everything that happens in your life.
Oh, that's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah, and this is the way you avoid being a victim and a drama queen and a drama king and not doing the things you want to do. You say, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility for everything that happens in my life and goes wrong. And I'm not going to blame anybody, and I'm not going to blame circumstances. Everybody wants to blame the recession right now for why things are going wrong.
Absolutely.
Instead of saying, you know what, how did I contribute to where I am right now?
Well, I tell you, when you say that, it makes me squirm in this chair as I listen to you. Because I actually had to think about that in my own life during this recession. How I screwed some things up along the way. It is true.
And And how did the federal government screw things up so badly? How has the country screwed up things so badly? And the state and the municipal government and our education system and that marriage. It goes from the individual level all the way to the highest levels. It's the same thing. Take responsibility for everything that happens and stop blaming other people. Stop blaming circumstances.
Yeah, the problem with putting responsibility on everybody or everything else is it sort of implies that you can't make any changes. So if you take the responsibility, then you're kind of empowered to say, okay, since it was I did it, I can, take measures and actions to correct this. But it is a fairly dramatic, it's a dramatic way of thinking. I mean, it's very different if people haven't adopted this.
Exactly. And it contributes to being a powerful person when you say, you know what, from now on in my life, in my business, whether you're an entrepreneur or anyone else, I'm going to take responsibility for everything that happens. And I'm going to separate blame from responsibility. They're not the same thing.
Now, I wanted to ask
our legal system,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead. Go finish your thought.
Yeah, our legal system focuses on blame. You get in an accident, someone runs into you, who are we going to blame? Okay? The legal system has to allocate blame in order for there to be some legal processes. Mm-hmm. But you can't run a society and your life based upon blame.
I see.
Because eventually everyone's pointing fingers all the time. It's you, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault.
Okay.
If instead you say, you know what, everything that's going to happen in my life, I'm going to take responsibility for that.
Okay. Well, what I was going to ask is, when you take responsibility, I wasn't clear as far as your where you were coming from. Is it because it's more actionable, or is it because that at least for me, when I see people who take responsibilities for things in their lives, it's such a rare quality. And so I kind of automatically, am drawn to them. I mean, I didn't know in what context you were speaking from. I automatically think they're more powerful because they're taking on something that very few people would take on.
Right. I think it's every context. It's from your health to your relationships to your business. And it doesn't necessarily mean, everything that happened is all my responsibility, because you're obviously working with other people.
Yes.
The difference is you're not blaming other people. You're not saying, the reason I am where I am is because of them or because of events.
Yeah.
You're saying, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for where I am right now, and my actions from this point forward are going to be my responsibility and under my control.
Well, I like that. I will tell you that, when I was first exposed to this idea, this was, I guess, about 10 years ago. It was pretty hard to get my head around that, because you would say, well, there's a lot of things you don't control and this and that. It is, for someone that's new to this, I think it takes a little bit of time to kind of work your way into it. Or can you actually do it quick? What do you think, Ray?
I think you can make a decision to do it quick from an attitude point of view, saying, you know what, from now on, I'm not going to blame anybody or anything for anything. So let me use a personal example.
Okay.
I think I told you that I've lost vision, partial vision in my right eye.
You did?
I had a blood clot in my right eye. Mm-hmm. Which has lodged in the retina, so I've lost about 50% of my vision in my right eye. How can I personally take responsibility for that? People would say, are you crazy? It's not your fault.
Yes.
Okay. It's not a matter of fault. So where I went to emotionally and mentally, Matthew, is what could I have been doing that could have brought this on that I need to take responsibility for? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I was doing is I was taking on too many work assignments, moving too quickly, putting too much pressure on myself, and not perhaps spending as much time in the being, taking care of myself that I normally do. Mm-hmm. And my body's trying to give me the message, buddy, slow down, or we'll do something to slow you down.
Oh, wow.
So whether it's my eye, unfortunately it wasn't my heart or my brain, for some people it ends up being a heart attack. Hey, there's a big message for you there, buddy. Why is your body trying to tell you something? So There's lots of evidence from mind-body research now throughout the world that shows that whatever physical malady you have, there's a way in which you have brought this on yourself. So if you take responsibility, you're then saying, in my case, okay, from this point onward, to get my eyesight back and to be healthy again, what do I need to do from my perspective? It doesn't mean that I don't go to doctors and ask them to help me. Of course I do.
Yes.
But what am I going to do? So now the focus is on my control and my personal power to make that happen.
Well, I think you bring up a great point. Because I know regarding the medical issue, a lot of people, they don't really want to take responsibility for it. I mean, it's something that happens to them. And I do think that, like heart attacks, at least in the U.S., it's a sign. It's just unfortunate that it has to happen for people to get the message. So
right,
anyway.
And you could take it to the family level. A couple gets divorced, and the person says, this wasn't my fault; it was all her fault. Well, you're not taking personal responsibility. What responsibility are you taking for that failed relationship? Okay, it happens in your business. Business goes sideways or goes bankrupt, and you say, it's just because of market condition, lost market share, the competition killed me, right? Or you say, hey, you know what? I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't doing something. I've got to take personal responsibility for why this happened to me. Well, and from this point onward, I'm going to be proactive and be in control.
Okay, great. Well, Ray, as we wind down this episode, do you have any parting words or comments or takeaways for our viewers at this point?
Well, just those three things that I mentioned today. Number one is what makes you a powerful person is your ability to be resilient and overcome obstacles. I talked about that a little bit. I didn't get into a lot of that, but that's a big one.
Okay. Number
two is to be able to keep your energy level high and avoid energy leaks, particularly with energy vampires. And number three is to take personal responsibility for everything that happens in your life. And if you systematically dedicate yourself to those things, you will become a much more powerful individual.
That's great. That is great. Well, this brings us to the close of this episode of The Success Formula. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And as always, Ray is a wonderful co-host, and we hope you'll tune in for our next episode. So thank you for tuning in.
Thanks a lot.